Yes. Hey, what's up, everybody? We are live. We will be right back. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Mike, I'm one of your hosts of the Stigma Ends Here. I am a grateful recovering alcoholic addict and also the founder and president of Recovery Army Outreach Incorporated, based out of Philadelphia, PA.
What's going on? I am Travis, owner, founder of Plan for Recovery. I also am a grateful recovering alcoholic and addict.
So tonight we have a special show. So we got a guest on tonight. And I've been meaning, we've both been meaning to get her on, actually, and I'm really excited and grateful she's here tonight. One of my favorite women on TikTok, without a doubt, hands down. Definitely one of the realest people I know. And just like Travis and I like not to sugarcoat things, just real talk, 100% real talk, all day, every day. So in case you don't know her, her name is April. She also goes by APTV on multiple platforms. So April, welcome. How are you?
I am good. I'm April, APTV, a grateful addict in recovery, 18 months sober. If y'all don't know what my name represents, it is addiction personality, for those that don't know, because don't we all have that sometimes, especially if we've been in addiction. We've all suffered from an addictive personality. So pretty relatable. Hello, what's up, my people? Glad to be here.
Got a little feedback there. All right.
That's my fault.
Yeah. So I'm glad you explained that, April. Because that was actually my next question. That was my next question too. So in case people didn't know what the reason behind APTV. So thank you for explaining that. So I like to lead off with when we have guests on because, as people know with the show, we kind of go back and forth. We don't get into tell me your whole story. I'm more interested because, honestly, at the end of the day, a lot of our stories are pretty much the same. While we're out there in active addiction, alcoholism, whatever it may be, it's essentially the same in one way or another. But like that turning point is different for it's pretty unique. How everyone decides to change their life and make that step in the right direction. So I'm curious, and I'd like you to explain to people just what it was like right before that moment, what may have happened in your life to make the conscious decision to say, you know what, like this is enough. I can't take the shit no more. My life's unmanageable. I got to change. Right. I got to get clean and sober. I got to stay that way. And how you did it.
Okay. I was thinking about this today. I don't have like this really crazy rock bottom story, but I do have a bunch of things that led up to a rock bottom, I guess you could say. Basically, what stands out to me is me having a knee replacement. I had to have knee surgery at 36 years old, full knee replacement. And it literally almost killed me. I had already been a drug addict since I was 11, 12 years old, and hardcore drug addict at that, every drug. I mean, started with cocaine, marijuana, progressed. But I just remember when I had my knee replacement, it didn't go so well. I didn't walk for almost 13 months. I had MRSA. I had got a staph infection, which I had to have a PICC line for 3 months to give myself IV meds to save my life every single day, 3 times a day. I was literally going to have my leg amputated it was on a Friday the 13th in October 2017. Because my infection was so bad, but a doctor was on duty that day who wanted to look at my leg because I was so young, and they saved my leg. It was going to be amputated. That's how bad the infection was. So I was on heavy pain pills. I was on heavy opiates. You know what I'm saying? They was giving me handfuls of that shit. So I had already had a problem with opiates, but I was dabbling between Suboxone. If I didn't have a pill, I'd take a Suboxone, or if I had a pill, I do this, whatever. I did everything. But I just remember after that knee replacement, how traumatic that was for me, and I was literally trading my Percocets for Xanax bars. And I mean, I was taking 10 Xanax bars in at a time. And the Xanax was leading me to the cocaine, and then it was just a downward spiral. I had a company. I had a teeth whitening company in a major mall in Opry Mills Mall out in Nashville for a few years. A successful company. I had a huge home, nice home, few cars, and obviously I couldn't work due to my injury. So I started to lose things. I was losing everything in my life, so much so to where I ended up on my mother's living room floor. I moved out of my mama's house when I was 12 years old, and I moved back in at 38 or 37. That was the beginning of my rock bottom, though. There's no real story behind it. Literally, this is how it happened. My husband's my father-in-law had got out of prison. I knew he had been using, and my husband had made a comment and said, just one day random, I wasn't thinking about getting sober. Obviously, I had always wanted to get sober. It wasn't nothing I was dwelling on. I was just doing what I had to do every day, same routine every day, And he said, Pops just got out of treatment. And I'm like, really? Where did he go? And he was like, Buffalo Valley. So I literally just took the phone. I walked outside. I Googled it. And it was no second afterthought, nothing. I called him straight up. And I was like, I had just quit a job being a caretaker literally that day. So I had 2 weeks to the day to get a check. And I was a drug addict. I didn't have no money. You know what I'm saying? I was hustling every day to, get high. And I called the intake. I was on the phone with them for about 30 minutes. They was trying to encourage me to come in that day. And I was like, no, I got to get my hygiene and stuff. I'm going to be there in 2 weeks. And she was like, ma'am, if you don't come today, you're probably not going to do it. You'll back out of it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, nah, baby, I'm coming. Like, I'm coming. And it was just weird because I didn't wake up one day and say, I'm going to treatment. It literally just happened organically like that. And I come back in the house and I said, I'm going to rehab. My husband was very happy for me. And it's really crazy. Like I said, I don't have this crazy story. It was just something inside of my spirit was tired, and it was that natural for me. Nobody said I'm gonna leave you if you don't get your shit together. I mean, I was sitting geeking. I'm in the project 2-3 o'clock in the morning with my kids, paying them candy to lie for me. You know what I'm saying? Crazy shit. So I didn't have this aha rock bottom moment, but I ended up 2 weeks later, the day I got my check. I spent every dime, getting my toiletries and my pillow and my blanket and, everything they gave me on that list. And I took as much drugs as I could take. I took as many Xanax bars, as much cocaine as I could get in my system. And I kept saying, this is my last hoorah. This is my last hoorah. And, I was serious about it, but I don't think I even realized how fucking serious I was about my recovery. Like, it was really destined for me to get clean. I used to always say, I'm destined for something great. I am destined for something great. Like, I really used to manifest that on myself, and a part of me didn't believe it, but some part of me did, and I don't know how it or why it happened, but it did. And when I was in treatment, the counselors always used to say, man, you're different. You're different. Like, you're really taking this serious, because a lot of women were there because they had to be, the courts ordered them to be. They trying to get their kids back type shit. But I was really there because I wanted to be. Me and 2 or 3 other girls was really serious about it. And those girls are still clean today. And I'm just, I was just serious about my recovery. And here I am, 18 months, no drugs or alcohol, and almost 3 months, no cigarettes. So that's a big deal for me. I never thought I'd quit smoking. So yeah, that's how it happened.
Nice. It's you. So you came a long way, and I know most of. I've heard your story, and Man, we could take the whole hour with that, like without a doubt. There's a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot. So I'm grateful to have you here tonight and talk about just solution based stuff. But
thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, we're grateful.
Yeah, Mike didn't want to have you, but I was like, yo, we got to have April on the show. She's absolutely amazing.
Well,
all right. So let me ask you this.
I didn't want to be on the show because I knew you were going to be on the show. So I told Mike, maybe I consider it. If Travis is going to be there, I might consider it. So, he told me you weren't coming.
Oh, all right.
I was just as surprised.
So anyway, so who's the one that reached out then? Anyway, I forgot.
I did. We direct email between each other.
What's that?
I said, so who was the one that reached out then? All right.
We know who reached out.
I want to touch real quick on too, like the things that
I'm lagging. Is it me or is it everybody? Hang on.
I think it might be just
it's like freezing.
It's Mike's connection. It's Mike's connection. It's that PA connection.
Yeah,
Right. You're so far. Like you're literally off the map, bro.
What do you mean?
You got your big toe in the water right now.
Don't be bringing Maine into this.
Travis is Maine.
Nothing.
He's way up there.
Yeah.
Maine. Yeah, true that.
So I want to ask you real quick too. I want to touch on. All right, awesome. So some of the things that you've been posting lately, because I keep up to date with the stuff that you put out there, because I'm a big fan of what you do. I love what you do. Your lives, everything. Like I love it all. And lately, especially as of late, though, you've been talking a lot about relapse prevention and really trying to push that out there, and get people engaged and really, besides all the drama and all this other stuff, like let's talk about not going back out. So I guess my question to you would be, what would you say to someone that really doesn't have any idea about relapse prevention, just kind of white knuckle it and don't know, any outlets to what are yours? Like, what are some of your options as far as, what do you do?
Back to your original question. If it was a newcomer who was coming to me and saying, it would depend on if the newcomer actually went to a detox program and then followed treatment, because it does change things, right? It changes things because, I'm all new to Recovering Out Loud. Well, I'm not new anymore, but I didn't know that rehab at home was a thing. Either you can rehab at home, you can, which is white knuckling it, or you can go to a 12-step program, because if you go to treatment, technically you're working a 12-step program. Now it's up to you whether you follow that program when you come home. So what I would ask the newcomer is, did you go to treatment? Because if they went to treatment, it's kind of a little easier because you have some of the steps. You know a little bit about coping skills because they drill that shit in you, But if it's somebody that's if it's somebody that went to treatment, I'm going to just refer them back to the basics. Basics are definitely just reaching out, connect. I never knew how important connection was until I got sober. Because when we're addicts, we are disconnected. We think we connected because we got all the plugs numbers, right? Because we got all the dope man numbers. We think we got the connections. That's bullshit. You have no clue what connection is until you can wake up one day and not need need dope to move out of bed, to not be pill sick, and be able to call somebody on a non-drug tip, right? To go out in public and not need dope or have any kind of connections that deal with dope, because that's all we had in the past. So if you're the newcomer, I would just say connection obviously is the opposite of addiction. And for me per se, I don't work a 12-step program, and I don't know if y'all have heard, but I'm looking into getting a sponsor and working a 12-step program. I'm not opposed to any of it, y'all. I don't recover like y'all. I'm not a big religious person like some people, but that doesn't mean my recovery doesn't count. You heard? So I feel like the newcomer definitely needs to connect, but also needs to get away from those people, places, and things. And if you're serious about staying sober, if you got to get rid of your phone and get a whole new phone, then that's what you're gonna do. So that's a tricky question, is all I'm saying. But relapse prevention for me is honestly the mindset. I put my mind in a place of recovery and not addiction. I have a lot of traumas. Y'all know that if you know my story. And if even in recovery, I could sit around and be a mess like I was in addiction without using drugs just because of my mental. So what I do is meditate. I meditate, not as often as I would like, but meditation changed my life. You need a few minutes to get away from you in all the, the world worry, life on life's terms. You heard? Because if we don't do that, if we don't hit the reset button, we're in trouble. We are in trouble. And relapse prevention for me is hitting that reset button sometimes. For me, y'all know I living is my life, and I'm not going to sit here and say 100% TikTok saves my life, but it kind of does. TikTok has done a lot for my recovery, but I can't just go tell the newcomer, go to TikTok. But I can say, hey, go to this hashtag relapse prevention. And there's some people who's made some, who have different ways that they recover and that they stay clean. Maybe one of them ways work for you. And here's what I do. So it's kind of a broad question. I do lots of things though, meditate, poetry, mostly connection though. That's the most thing. But yeah. And also, I think another thing is something I don't do is therapy. I think everybody can use therapy. Ain't nobody just got their head screwed on tight to where they don't need a little therapy, especially if you've been a drug addict. There are some underlying issues there. But for real. I mean,
I try to tell Mike that all the time.
He tries to.
Even that's how crazy I am.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And that was my underlying issue, like all along, really, was mental health. So I'm a dual diagnosed. They call me double trouble. Yeah. Like that's just, if I don't keep one in check, the other one's gone. But like also, like when you talk about,
I get 2 checks in case the first one don't come.
I love you said though, like especially if you go to treatment, stuff like that, like coping skills, all these things are like pounded in your head, right? Like, and you hear it all day, every day, and all this stuff, and like, and all these tools to use, and this and that, and we can get them everywhere, from whether we go to a meeting, a fellowship, or the treatment, or like wherever it may be. But at the end of the day, like, what good are these tools if you don't carry your toolbox, right? Like if you don't practice these things and do these things, like what good are they? Like we can hear, I've heard it a million times. It wasn't until I started implementing and putting them into action, because recovery is an action word, until I actually started doing these things and getting in service and doing these things, like then things started working out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's definitely, it's not so much
feel that because
picking up
I started
it's a using problem.
Was that true?
Go ahead. I'll just
No, I wanted to say, okay, so I started this choose happy thing. I was choosing happy, and this goes back to what you were saying. You know, a lot of us have the knowledge. The knowledge, if you're a good listener and you're serious, you can get the knowledge. Mm-hmm. I can have all the fucking knowledge in the world, but if I'm not applying that shit to my life, that shit means nothing. So that's what made me think of that, because I literally, for like a week, I chose happy. I literally went on this choose happy thing, right? Where I didn't give a fuck what was going on in my life. I was choosing happy. And it was hard, y'all. It was fucking tough. But let me tell you, it was life-changing. It made me grow a lot. And I mean, obviously, I'm not as strong on the bandwagon as I was, because it's hard to choose happy every single day. But when it comes to how do you stay sober, you can have the tools, like you said, but if you ain't opening the damn toolbox up and applying the tools and, screwing the screw in or using the hammer, none of this shit matters. And it gets frustrating at a certain point when people say they won't help and you offered it to them and they're just not utilizing it. It's frustrating, because I do see that not on this community, but on the outside where I'm at. Like people say, oh, I want to be like you. No, be like me. Be like you. But just, utilize some of the things I do to be who I am. But they not ready.
And it's funny when you say that about having this tool bag. It's like everybody's tool bag doesn't look the same. Like everybody's tools in that bag are not the same. And like some days you're the hammer, some days you're the nail. Some days you're the hammer, some days you're the nail. But you got to remember, like both of them are strong. both of them are strong in their own right. And I remember when you were going through that stuff. Yeah, and I remember when you were going through that stuff about choosing happy, and you were having all this stuff going on. And you know, and anytime you know, anytime I see your live comes on, April, I always stop and show love, and I do that for a reason. And the reason being is you're genuine. You're not afraid to say that the hard truth. And the thing is if it wasn't for people telling me the hard truth, like I wouldn't be here for as long as I'm here. You know, you have to be able to take suggestions. And again, there is there isn't this like just set concrete way like how people have to do this. Because at the end of the day, the one purpose in this entire thing is like, don't pick up, don't die. You know, and then once you start putting, don't pick up, don't go. Yes. Yeah. And however you do that is what's going to work.
So there's
funny because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I've been smoking cigarettes since I was 11 years old. Cigarettes is something nobody fucking talks about, right? You go to rehab, you're going to get off these drugs, but what's my opinion? The gateway drug has always been nicotine. I mean, or alcohol, but nicotine. We started with cigarettes. Most people started seeing their mom and daddy smoke or whoever. They hit a cigarette. They started with cigarettes. To me, that was my gateway. That's why I developed my addictive personality, right? And, you know, I had a lot of trauma at a very young age. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know I would be, I didn't know I was going to go through this in my life, right? But I've always felt like I would smoke cigarettes. Cigarettes was going to be the death of me. And one day, I didn't want to quit at first. I was like, I can't quit drugs and cigarettes. Hell no, right? But you go into rehab, and these people are fiending and clucking for packs of cigarettes. That's all we do. Cigarettes, in treatment, right? And it just blew my mind in there. Like, nobody's treating the underlying issue here. The cigarettes is what got us. It started our addictive personality. I'm just saying, this is my opinion. So we're not really treating certain things. So what I did was I said, when I get ready to quit smoking, I want to be clean first. I want to see if I can tackle that, you know? And then I said, I want to see if I can take the same approach as I do to staying off drugs, staying clean, to cigarettes. And hallelujah, it worked. And I literally don't want to smoke cigarettes. I never thought I wouldn't smoke a cigarette. Hallelujah. I have exorcised the demons. Yeah. So that's how I quit smoking. And I had medically assisted treatment with that. I did Nicoderm patches. I couldn't cold turkey shit. And I did Nicoderm gum. It works, but I don't put fire in my lungs anymore, and I ain't knocking nobody who does. But I feel
as I sit here and smoke.
You know, I'm just saying, no shade, no judgment. This is a judgment-free podcast, Mike. Okay.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. So, but I think it's really cool because I did apply the same tactics that I do to drugs. I'm scared to death I'm gonna die type shit. That's how come I don't pick up. I mean, literally, point blank, period. Number one reason why I'm sober to this day, 18 months in, I'm scared to death I will die. Relapse for me is death. There is no, okay, guys, I'm on day one again. No, there's, okay, sorry, this is somebody with her page. Listen, she's gone. That's it. That's it. And this is the hard truth. Someone made a suggestion because people come into my lives all the time. I get a lot of newcomers, and I love the newcomers. I love the newcomer because they are the most important people. They're most impressionable. They're like newborns. You know what I'm saying? You have to coddle them and cradle them because that shit is rough, man. Them first 90 days is the hardest. You are a bad motherfucker if you can get through them first 30 days. Like, this shit is hard, right? It's challenging. But when people come in and say, I'm struggling, April, I'm struggling. Y'all know me. I don't mean to be cynical, but I'll be like, okay, you're going to die though. You want to get high? Oh, okay, you're going to die. You know, and now I'm going to use the term of go write your obituary first before you go call the dope man. Write your phone numbers you're going to need for your kids to have or whoever need to call your kids. Write your obituary first and then call the dope man because that's what it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? Cut and dry. Everything has fentanyl in it. I'm convinced. I'm convinced. Yeah. It don't matter what it is. It's going to have fentanyl. That's just my luck. And that's not how I want to go out. That's how come I stay clean.
Yeah,
I'm not going out like that.
I agree, and it's been multiple years for me since I've been out there, and the game changed. Man, like things are so much different.
The game changed.
I know. Listen, I know for
what you said.
Fact, that first one I pick up, that's it. That first one was the last one. I know it's been so long.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, I know. Like I've come. Luckily the obsession's been lifted though. Like I don't even.
Yes.
I get the thoughts coming past, but that's it. Like I can easily deflect them. You know what I mean? I can be around other people that drink alcohol, stuff like that. Like I'm not gonna put myself in that situation, but I can, because like scripture I read and stuff like that, and literature that I read is like, we still can do the same things we used to do and not be affected. Like our life doesn't have to necessarily change. Like I don't have to keep myself away and isolate from people that live their life the way they do. You know what I mean? When it comes to drugs, maybe not. I don't want to be around that shit at all. But like alcohol, things like that. And certainly you can't, and you definitely can't change other people anyway. And like, that's like, especially like family, stuff like that. You go to a family event, like you can't expect people to change what they do normally because you're just because you're there and you're in recovery. Like, you know what I mean?
Facts. Yeah. Yep.
So I want to ask you a quick question. So,
Pam.
Yes, Pam. Congratulations. Anyone having trouble sharing it? Anyone having trouble sharing a live? There should just be a share button. Share it to your page. Share it to a recovery page. It shouldn't.
Share it too. Let me share it.
So I do want to ask you a question that we typically. I want to ask you a question that we typically ask.
You got to pull it together for this, April. I really need you to focus on this next question. This is a huge question.
Very important question.
Okay.
And you got to be quick with it. You got to be quick.
No thinking. No thinking. You just got to shoot an answer. So you go in the grocery store. What items are you putting on the checkout line to make the cashier feel uncomfortable? Go. Just go.
The cashier feel uncomfortable?
Yeah, to make them feel uncomfortable.
What store am I at though? Is it the adult store? Is it at Walmart?
No, it's not the adult store. It's Costco.
No.
It's Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart.
It's your local grocery shop. It's a Piggly Wiggly's, Publix, Albertsons. You freaking
okay. Condoms, KY, lots of thongs. You uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
Do they sell jock straps there?
Sure.
Yes.
I don't know why. Aisle 13. Oh, you. Okay. This is a trick question.
It is not a quick. We've asked every one of our guests.
We ask everybody.
Okay. Tampons, maxi pads.
I deem you normal. I literally just deemed you normal.
I think that's something you probably normally do.
Why are you doing this?
No, it's better than my answer.
We lost her.
What did you say?
Oh, God.
A 55-gallon drum of KY, 2 cucumbers, an eggplant, pizza rolls, bagel bites, friggin' pirate
I told y'all about visuals before this thing started. We talked about
I know, that's why I put pants on.
Remember?
That's why I put my pants on.
Lord.
Yeah, okay. The first time we had Travis the first time we had Travis that, it was concerning how fast he answered and how crazy his answer was. So ever since,
the real young swag check.
Yeah, real young swag's here. What's up, brother?
Love you, brother.
Y'all put me on the spot though.
It's supposed to be on the spot. How do you think the cashier feels? You think about that? You just come up there, start emptying your cart?
Hey, I mean, damn, they should be used to it though, right?
Not with the stuff I'm checking out.
Not with our checkouts.
You were probably the most normal answer, April.
Yeah.
What did you say, Mike?
I said,
What'd you
what
say?
did I
Mop and
say?
glow.
Huh?
Beard dye, mop and glow.
No, I said, what did I say?
Rubber
I don't
glove?
know. Yeah. Condoms, cucumbers, yeah, KY,
Yo,
you know, some
whipped cream.
Red
I
Bull,
forgot that one.
some Red Bulls, yeah, some Cool Whip.
3.5 foot midget.
Yeah, right. And like yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I don't
Cactus, hamster. We forgot cactus and hamster.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, cactus, yeah. Oh god.
So can I ask a question now, Mike? Am I allowed to speak? I mean, you invited
Dude,
me
yes,
here.
yes, you can speak.
You weren't
Yeah,
even
man.
invited here, but okay.
You're in some bunker.
So
Somewhere in Maine.
Dude, it's the Climb for Recovery bunker. It's loaded up with plenty of friggin' food, ammunition, whatever you need, snowmobiles,
Canned goods.
canned
When
goods.
shit hits the fan, Climb for Recovery is covered.
Is where you want to go. April, so I want to ask you this. So you have 18 months and it's been obviously just an absolute amazing journey. When you see people, this kind of ties back into the relapse prevention. When you see people who are continuously having relapses, like just occurring relapses, like what is the advice that you would give these people if they're continuing to find themselves slipping up?
Well, fortunately, this is gonna be a little tough because I haven't had that in my intermediate life. To be honest, I don't surround myself with people. I don't have no friends. Like the only people I know is on TikTok. And if somebody was relapsing, I don't know about it. But the only advice that I could give them would be the same advice I would give to a stranger. I don't, be careful. You're gonna die. I would literally just remind them of what's out there and how serious this shit is. Like you said, this is not the old school. We're not doing the good drugs. All drugs are bad now. Like every drug has potential to be deadly in small amounts. And I would definitely remind them of that. People tend to take me the wrong way though, because I don't mean to come across as cynical or judgmental, but sometimes I do. So you have to be very careful and tiptoe sometimes, and it's a sensitive situation, right? Because if somebody is continuously using, for one, they wouldn't probably even be in my life because I wouldn't allow that around me. But if they were reaching out to me, that would be something different. I can't tell you honestly. Only thing I can tell you is the same thing I tell a newcomer, man. Relapse is death for me. And, it's probably going to be the same for you. And if you get lucky and you do have a relapse, a slip up, a lapse, or whatever you want to call it, and you do make it back, you ain't that lucky. Ain't nobody that lucky. There's not going to be 3, 4, 5 second, third, fourth, fifth chances. It's just don't work like that these days. We're not dealing with that kind of monster, y'all. It's a real monster. It's a real devil. And you might have made it back once. You're not going to keep making it back. It blew my mind in treatment. I've been fortunate enough, how I don't know. I've never OD'd. I've never been brought back to life, right? From a drug. I don't know how I haven't. I've taken handfuls of Xanax and mixed it with stuff I was in and whatever. But I don't have that story. Fortunately, people tend to ask me in my lives, well, have you been in prison? How many times did you OD? Or people automatically assume that. That's not my story. That's not a part of my story. But I really feel sorry for people that, not to judge them, but it hurts my heart. I'm a complete empath. So it's really heartbreaking. But a slip, a lapse, especially if you die. People were ODing in treatment, telling me stories how they would OD, knew that what they were buying was fentanyl, get Narcan, call the dope man back, and beg the dope man for the fentanyl that they knew they were going to OD on again. That's how bad they was. That is insane to me. This is why I'm scared, y'all. These motherfuckers in treatment scared the shit out of me. They got me convinced I'm dead. So I don't know, man. Same shit. You gonna die.
Yeah,
There's
it's
really
crazy.
nothing, our recovery is ours. We can't help anybody. We can only be inspirational, but we can't stop anybody from doing what they're going to do. We can put our input in, we can be passionate, and we can make videos, and we can do all these things. We can send messages and be as encouraging as possible. People are going to be who they're going to be. You know what I'm saying? And that's the hard part about recovering out loud and wanting to help people, because we can't help everybody because everybody don't want our help.
Yeah, help the ones who want it. That's I was taught a long time ago. Help the ones who want it. And I say this all the time: cemeteries are filled with people who are going to get clean tomorrow.
Yep.
Think about that. You know what I mean? Like for me, I know I do not have. I probably could. Relapse again, but I know I don't have another coming back. So I'm just going to stay here.
Yeah.
Were you a chronic relapser?
No.
I was for sure. And to go back, what you talked about.
So what was your longest sober time before
I finally
sober time before this time?
Jail time. Yeah, Travis had 10 years. Mine, the longest I. Go ahead, Travis.
And you relapsed?
After 10 years.
And you relapsed?
Yes.
Oh, so you're back from a relapse?
Yeah, I have about 4.5 years now. But yeah, I relapsed after 10 years. I had major hand surgery.
Did you
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up. So I was gonna say, when you relapsed, was it a binge, or was it a full-fledged back out there and then took you a while to get back on your feet type shit, or did you bounce right back?
No, I had major hand surgery. I was prescribed hardcore painkillers. I told the doctor I was an addict. Nowhere on the bottle does it say crush up, snort, shoot, or whatever, which is what I did because that's what we do. And I went back out. I went back out for another 3-4 years. And I'll tell you this, being a person who had 10 years, who worked the program, my mind was poisoned. Yeah. Because I was poisoned with, I don't want to say poisoned, but my brain was filled with recovery. So when I was going through this relapse, like I could identify things. And that is one of the worst traumas as someone who's been in long-term recovery and goes back out, is that's where the shame, guilt, remorse will keep you back out there. Because I wasn't going to go in front of my home group. I wasn't going to go in front of the people in my community and say, hey, I slipped up, because I was the man who was sponsoring other men. I was the man who was going to all these events. I was the man. So
you were still acting sober?
No, I just vanished. No, I just vanished. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I 86 vanished.
That brings up a good question. So I had a knee replacement. I have metal in my leg. I have screws. Because I was a pill popper and I was addicted to opiates. I have another knee problem, right? And it's kind of sad because of the chronic pain that I have now. I mean, I'm just keeping it 100. My name is APTV for a reason. I literally take Excedrin with caffeine on a regular basis. I break them in half. Like it's just that addict in me, right? I take Aleve a lot. I take too much, energy drinks. I still have the addictive personality, right? So I need another knee replacement on my other knee. And because I don't do pills anymore, once you get sober, you really realize the fucking damage you do to your body. And it takes a real G to actually get sober, realize how bad life really sucks sometimes and how it really hurts, and don't. That takes a hell of a, everyone on here on this podcast is a fucking miracle. And I just need y'all to know that. Let me get that off my chest. You really are miracles. Lots of people didn't make it today. But my question to y'all, just for an opinion, like I need to have knee surgery. This is major surgery. My fear, and it's getting worse. I'm going to be crippled if I don't have the surgery. But I'm scared because I've given advice to someone else who had cancer about she was struggling with taking her pain pills, but she was dying, like hurting. And I said, girl, I get it, but like, what do you do if you're in a situation like that? Say you are dying from cancer and you are in recovery. What do you do? I want to know y'all's opinion. Say you do need this major surgery and you know that it's bad and it may require Pain pills. What is y'all's advice to the people? I know I'm not the only one wondering.
I'm gonna say just from personal experience, you know, which was my turning point was a traumatic brain injury, and I had brain surgery. So I had part of my skull removed, and they sold it out and replaced it with titanium, closed it with 30 staples. Woke up as John Doe in the ICU, had to relearn how to walk, talk, and write, and I did it with Motrin. That was the day that I surrendered and
Nice.
and knew where it would take me. I just knew. So, you know, I was able to get them to take me off the meds. And that first year was nothing but pain. But the willingness behind it, and the faith that I had, literally, I just knew things will get better, and I just pushed through, honestly.
That's awesome.
You know, and even then I didn't even have, you know, like at that time, there really wasn't, you know, like connection. I had to relearn how to walk, talk, and write. So, but it went back to like what you said earlier. I got a new phone, completely changed areas. Like my old lifestyle had to completely go away. And people say like, yeah, well, you bring yourself everywhere you go. And like, I totally understand that. I get that. But at the same time, if I can remove myself from a place that I've been so long, that was my stomping grounds, that I did what I did, and separate myself from people, why not? Like, to better my odds, like, why not? You know what I mean? And really focus on myself. And that's really what I did. Like, it's just about pushing through. Like, I think we're so quick to find, because we're so used to getting outside of self and numbing emotions and pain and all these things. Like, I think people don't realize the true strength that we have inside of ourselves, because we never tapped into it. Like, we're so quick to pick something up to avoid it. But if you actually push through it, not only will you get through it, because you'll get through it. It might hurt, and it might, you know, it'll be very uncomfortable, but you'll get through it. And on the other side of it, the character that's built, and when you look back in hindsight of what you were able to get through without picking up, is really what it's about. And that was a game changer for me. I'm like, damn, I made it through that without picking up. Like, look, like, bring whatever the fuck you want, like, because life sucker punches me in the face all the time. Still today, I get sucker punched all the time by life. Like, life shows up and uppercuts me and you know what I mean, blindsides me. And but picking up's just not the option. Like, whether it's emotional pain, physical pain, whatever it is, it's just like not even thinking like that's even the option. You know, and that's even Jen said, really, I think in here,
me a lot, because I've been
Jen even said
in here.
Yeah, I mean, Jen said in here too, her aunt had the same thing done, and she did it with Motrin. You know, it's just like doing the physical therapy, you know what I mean? Taking Motrin, things like that, and just knowing, like, it'll pass. It'll pass. It's gonna be a hell of a ride, but it'll pass. That's
what's up. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. What you do? What you do, Travis?
Mike, I 100% agree with you. Like, I truly believe that going abstinence is your highest chance of success. Okay. But I do understand there are people that genuinely have pain, may not have that same tolerance. And I remember, so a guy that is a mentor to me, he's got, 37 years in the program. One of the things he said to me was like, dude, if that's something that you have to do, one, you need to keep yourself accountable.
Yeah.
Okay. Two, you need to have these talks just as candid as you always have this talk with a fellow addict. You need to have this talk with your doctor. Okay. You need to let your doctor know what type of position you are in, that you did have an addiction, and it can't just stop there. Like, you need to make sure that you set up these safety barriers where you are on a pill count, where you do have accountability from your inner circle that are making sure that you're taking what you want. I personally, going forward, would definitely always try to go the abstinence parts, just because I had 10 years, and granted, there were other deciding factors that led up to it. Like, I stopped going to meetings because I moved out of my city, and I was like, it's funny. So it's not funny. So one of the quickest things that we get back when, as addicts, that when we get into recovery, are these amazing promises. Our relationships are restored. We're employable. We can fix our credit. We can pay our bills. We meet the girl. We do all these things. And all these things come back to us in a really, really quick fashion. And I wish it didn't come back to us so quick, because what happens as people who have addiction, and we're this, okay, feed me now, ego, pride, feed me, is what happens is we get complacent. So my addiction wasn't so much because I had major hand surgery. It was because I became complacent in my recovery, and everything that was amazing in my life that recovery brought to me, I started taking 100% ownership of that. And that wasn't mine, because when I decided to get clean and sober, I asked a God of my understanding to relieve me from obsession and compulsion, and which he did, just for me to go along and gain all these promises that were promised to me, that would happen to me along this journey. And when they happened to me, I said, oh, I did this. I did this. I got this back. I got this job. And it wasn't. It was because I was following a thorough program that allowed all these gifts in my life. So for me personally, I can't, I've proven to myself I can't use in moderation. The guys joke up and they're like, oh, Travis, what's up? The guy with 10 years. And I can take a joke, but at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I had 10 years of continuous sobriety, and I built my life from being this two-time felon who's done friggin' almost 10 years total in my life through state prisons, county jails, youth center, written off by complete society. Judges wanted to lock away the key. People not want me in their lives, to going back to college, having children, getting married, buying houses, selling houses, going back to college again, just all these amazing things just for me to do what I do best, and that's get in my own goddamn way and fuck it all up. That's what I did.
That's a big thing, is even if if you are a part of a fellowship or anything like that, if you notice, the old timers in the room, there's an 86-year-old man in there that never misses a meeting, and he's still sober. You know what I mean? It's so easy, I think, for us to put. We forget, because those things come so fast. All this material shit and all this comes back so fast. We forget what it took for us to get there and get that back. And I think it's so easy for us to put it on the back burner, and put other things before it. And it's always the first things that we lose. But yeah, that, complacent, and I think ingratitude is just as dangerous as complacency also. And sticking to the basics. If we stick to the basics, we don't have to go back to them. So it's practicing these first few things, to surrender every single day. Give my will over every single day. If I do these things on a daily basis and stick in these basics, and I don't have to go back to them. You know what I mean?
It's funny that you said getting the stuff back so soon, because I always say that, when new people come into my lives and stuff, I always tell them this was the hardest part for me. I don't feel like I got everything back right away. I mean, you don't go fucking your life up for 20 plus years and get it all back in 30 days of sobriety, in 60 days of sobriety, in 100 days of sobriety. And I think that's important. Another important thing for the newcomer to be aware of, because when you fresh out, you want all this stuff, recover. You want to recover all these things, right? But I always tell people, everything is not to be recovered, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, certain things, people, places, and things, but for the most part, a lot of that shit never mattered, right? So for me, the car, the house, I slept on a floor in a living room in my mother's house, in a really bad situation with my 2 children and my husband for 1 year, to the day of my year clean date. I got my keys a week after my year clean date to my apartment. And I kept, in the first 60 days, I was like, why don't I have a house yet? I got this money saved up. How come I don't got, why this? This is bullshit. What's the point? You know how it go. In the first 90 days, it's rough. You're like, why? Okay, well, I've been clean for a week. Why don't I have a new car yet? You telling yourself, that's the addiction telling you, well, what was the point? You ain't got it back fast. And for me, I didn't feel like I regained it fast. But with you putting it into those terms, I guess it does kind of come back kind of fast, but not, literally, because I'm 18 months clean, and I'm just now I'm learning so much in the last 30 days of my recovery, like crazy, yo. I don't work a 12-step program, but I'm not opposed to it. I don't have a sponsor, but I'm not opposed to it, right? I'm not on math. I don't do anything the traditional way. Shit, never have, never will. But I think it's really cool for the newcomer to understand, don't give up before the miracle happens, because damn it, the miracle is going to happen. Like the fact that you made it here is a miracle, but there's more miracles. So I just thought it was funny that you're saying getting stuff back really fast, but I guess 18 months really isn't a long time compared to 25 years of being on dope, or my whole half my life, whole life, or whatever. Right. But I'm still, and then you want to, people think that they're supposed to get certain things back. And I think that's another thing where people they get complacent. You're right. They get complacent, but like, I don't know how to put it into words. Like, certain things you don't need to get back. Certain things was never for you. They were just, our brains start tricking ourselves when we get clean, and you start having these visions, right, of what sobriety is, but you have no fucking clue. You have no clue. Sobriety is not a fucking big house with nice cars and everybody kicking it like the Brady Bunch. That is not recovery. Recovery's fucking hard, man. It's fucking challenging. And it's an everyday motherfucking grind. If you are not 100% working on yourself every day, that don't look like recovery to me. If you can't take constructive criticism from one of your fellow recovering brothers, sisters, or queens, and you get defensive when people are saying, hey, this is what I see from the outside looking in. If you can't take that constructive criticism and help grow yourself and your character, that doesn't look like recovery to me. And then that's just my opinion. So I think it's important that the newcomer knows that you're not going to regain everything back. It's not supposed to be that way. That's not how it works. I think what I found in the last 30 days of my life, I'm really focusing on the, I'm really proud of myself. I never set goals before in my life, whether be big or small goals. That's why I do gratitude daily, because that is so huge for recovering addicts, to make sure you manifest. I'm a believer in manifestation. Same. Believe it and receive it, right? I trip myself out daily with the little shit that I say. I want to do this today. You don't set huge goals, right? Daily, you just set small ones. And it's just crazy to me that just now, 18 months, I'm just finally learning new stuff. You can always learn stuff in your sobriety. I don't care if you're 24 hours clean or you're fucking 20 years clean. There's nothing I can't learn from you or you. And I think that's the really cool thing that I'm learning. I'm just open right now to all suggestions, and I'm really proud of some of my my friends and family that I have on I've met on TikTok. Like, I'm really proud to be a part of. I never had friends. I never knew friends. I never had friends in my whole life. Never. And now I have friends and people I've never met a day in my life. And I know they really fuck with me, and I can really turn on them. So I think that's so important to relapse prevention too, is that connection. It's got to be there. It's got to be real though, But I just thought that was, I didn't recover my stuff back real fast. I still ain't got everything I want.
Yeah, I think it's different for everybody, but it reminds me too, like when you were talking about that, because I worked inpatient for a while. So like, and I worked on a unit that was like chronic relapsers, you know what I mean? Like habitual offenders, you know what I mean? And I can relate because I was one. So, and it would be funny because like there was a piece of entitlement that a lot of people have coming into recovery. And I did too, when I had a little bit of time here and there. And most of the time it was forced time in jail or an institution, whatever it may be. And truly didn't work on myself. Because at the end of the day, like the happiness, the serenity, the peace, it's an inside job. Like nothing else is going to give it to you, but you got to give it to yourself.
That's right.
So, but like, it was funny because there's always this like sense of entitlement. Like, and I was hearing people on the phones and shit, like, I deserve this. I deserve this. Like, so I would have like groups and be like, all right, we're going to talk about entitlement and the things that we're entitled to. So I'm going to start and make a list right here on this piece of paper of all the things that we're entitled to. And I sit there and I was pretending like I was writing on something on my pen, and I turned it around, just showed them a blank piece of paper. Like, that's what you're entitled to. you're entitled to nothing. Like you got to work for this. This is work you got to put in. Like if anything you want, you got to earn these things back. Like they're earned back. Nothing's given back to you. And anything that was removed for you was probably removed to you for a purpose. It was probably for a reason. It's a good thing that it is gone. But it's this new start now that you can rebuild and chase what you want. And the goal setting, I love that you talked about, because really that's what it's about, is continuous growth, and looking, writing down goals and chasing goals. I know if I'm not trying to do more in my life and kind of step my levels up as time goes on, if I'm not progressing, I'm regressing towards a relapse. It's that simple. You know what I mean? Like I need to constantly be working on something, because then idle hands, and complacency sets in, and I'm far from perfect. You know what I mean? It happens, but I got to recognize it. But I have such a close circle. I'm so lucky that I'm blessed truly to have people in my life that notice it in me before I even notice it in myself sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, yo, something's off with you. I don't know what it is. And then I get like, that kind of connection is so important in my opinion. To have people that really know you so well, that know you're going through something when you don't even realize it. You know what I mean?
And when people walk into any form of recovery, they're not walking in saying, "Oh my God, I'm getting married next week. I just got this job promotion. He went to Jared's." Like that shit. Like that don't happen. Like when we walk into these rooms, like we walk in as, or whatever form, like when we physically, emotionally, mentally say, "Hey, we need to get help." Like we walk in as these broken individuals. Like just utterly broken. And some of the change that I was talking about isn't so much like material change. It's that someone's skin returning to color. Like if you see someone who's a hardcore alcoholic and they walk in, they look like Rudolph's red nose, or you see a heroin addict, they're gray, and so some of the very most beautiful miracles that we get to see in this change when people are getting clean is and no matter how little it is, and it is so important, is the spark and the light that you can see in somebody's eye. That is so important, that glow. And it doesn't matter, like April, like you were saying, it doesn't matter if you have 24 hours or 20 years, but when you can look at someone and you see that they have this glow, this spark that was just missing from them when they walked in, when you see that in someone else, or you start getting that message from someone saying, "Hey, had a great day. It wasn't perfect, but I didn't pick up." Like these are the miracles that people need to be talking about, and not so much like in a public setting, but like we need to be held accountable for our mistakes, but people need to be held accountable for their successions, because we so often hear, and especially on any social media platform, is we're constantly hearing about the negative. And one thing that I've always said is, like, if I was literally an addict right now and I just like trampled my way into recovery TikTok, and I'm seeing or Facebook, and I'm just seeing this constant battling and fighting, like I would rather stay in the trap house, fighting Scuba Steve and trying to find out where the fucking the rock is, or who stole the vinegar bottle, or why is there no friggin' pointers left, or so like we got to project like true recovery, and the true recovery isn't materials, it isn't followers, it isn't money, it's not concerts, it's not merch, it's literally about that one person who said, "Hey, like I saw one of your videos," or "Hey, like I didn't know recovery existed, until this," and then that's the miracle, because that person can take that back into his community. Because I'll tell you what, we do not recover on the World Wide Web. It is a tool, but we recover individually. We recover in our communities, and when we're loud and proud in our own communities, then the guy who's sitting there selling you your apple juice or your Nicoderm gum every single day, and he may have a problem, and he sees your bright smiling face walk in that store, and you're wearing your gear, and you're talking on the phone, and you're talking about recovery, that person might just look at you and say, "Hey, I need help. Where do I start?" And that's our responsibility as individuals. If we're going to decide to recover out loud, like our responsibility is to have our hand out there. It's a responsibility.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Facts. Yeah. it is a complete responsibility. And I think, and I'm just going to say it, you know what I'm saying? I think when it comes to social media and TikTok specifically, it's one thing to recover out loud. It's another to recover out loud. Like everybody wants to recover out loud, but that means more than what you think. Like it's more to it than just saying it. Like it's a whole responsibility. We got to be accountable, just like in our recovery. You have to be accountable. If you're a creator or you have some kind of, whether big or small, it does not matter how many fucking followers you have. If you have some sort of a voice, it's very, very, very important that you be careful what you're doing with your voice, especially if you're a person, and you are Travis and you are Mike, who people listen to. You know, not everybody can have, not saying everybody doesn't have a voice, but everybody doesn't have a voice that are going to draw people in and that people trust. And you know what I'm saying? So if you know you're that kind of person, if you know you make an impression on people, it is your responsibility, especially if you're in recovery, to be making the right impression. Do the next right thing for real, because people are dying. And if people are following you and they're getting bad information, it's serious out here. I just want people to take their platforms serious. And it's no shade to nobody. It's just, it is what it is. Recovering out loud means something to me. I never knew about recovering out loud until a year ago.
Pedestal. It's a platform, not a pedestal.
That's
exactly.
Right. It's a platform. Exactly. That's right. Absolutely.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing about
if you have people that are inboxing you that are on the verge of relapse, that's some serious shit. So you need to be careful what you're saying on your platform, right? Because if you're saying the wrong thing, this could cause someone to do. This is life or death here. You know, if you say you're saving lives, save lives. And that's what listen, this is what I'm very honored to be on your show. I just want to say that I highly, highly respect y'all, because not only do you have a platform, but you have an army, and you really are both of you are putting your feet on the turfs. And that I appreciate, I love, and I respect, and I look up to that. And I mean, like, yeah, I said it earlier, like I want to be involved. You know, I'm new to this. Whatever I can do to be involved in the foot on the turf, please let me be a part of it. Because I think it's important that not only do we speak out here and on this screen and in our lives, but like put our feet up to the ground and really become an army and get out here and put in the work. You feel me? Anybody can say what they gonna do, but is you gonna do it? So, yeah, and I appreciate y'all for what y'all do.
No, we appreciate you, and that's why we definitely had to have you on, because you're our kind of people. You know what I mean? Like, let's just real talk, real recovery. But like I want to say a couple things, and like one is about like just the platforms of social media and recovering with that and stuff. Like, you got to always remember though too, like nothing's permanent. Like, listen, TikTok, Facebook, this shit could be gone tomorrow. Like, if that's what you solely rely on for your recovery, like what are you going to do then? You know what I mean? I think it's keeping a connection, connect outside of the platform and connect with these people and things like that on a different level. But also, you know, and it's definitely, you know, words are powerful. So like, and we choose to recover out loud. All of us do, you know, but like we talk about the responsibility that comes with that. Like, words are fucking powerful. And like Travis said, if I walked into some things that I see on the platform, I would probably turn around and go back out and be like, that does not look pleasing to me whatsoever. I don't really want to be part of that, and leave. But the big thing for us, how you talk about, like, you know, getting your boots on the ground and stuff like that, because I look at it this way too. Also, the people that like I personally deal with and my team personally deals with, like on the streets of Kensington. Listen, these people don't have TikTok. These people don't have Facebook. They don't have a fucking phone. They don't have an ID. They don't have insurance. They don't have any of this shit. Yeah. Like, they don't see any of this. You know what I mean? So like, we're all blessed to be in a situation to even have these kind of tools and these kind of connections that we make. But like, I think it's so important. That's all it is to me, is a platform to hopefully reach that one. That's it. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? I don't care about followers. I don't care about likes, or I'm worried about that comment or that DM that I get that needs help, and I reach out to them and I'm able to help in some sort of way. But having my feet on the ground and literally talking to people, you know, with a needle in their arm, you know, saying to them, and literally in, you know, in slides in the winter, like, you know, just have absolutely nothing and are completely broken in every possible way, just to show them that we love them and care, and that there's like there's a chance for them, there's a way out. Is so important. It's just that service to me is really what it's all about, is help people find, because when I was out there, if people like us that went down there, my life may have been different. You know what I mean? I may have just took my suggestion.
So you never had that when you were out there? No one ever reached out?
No. So we would have some local churches and stuff like that, bring food down, stuff like that, pray with you. And that was pretty much it. But like, that's why what we do is a little different. When we go down, like, we also offer, you know, we go down and try to plant some seeds. Like, yeah, we're going to help you out with some food and some clothing and some toiletries and some feminine products and first aid kits and all these things. But also we're going to talk with you, relate with you, you know, on a different level, and show you that there are resources out there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here just to give you something. I'm going to give you a piece of hope while I'm here and let you know there's some other options in case you didn't know. And if you're willing, like, we can help get you in there. We can help you take that first step if you're willing to do it. But it goes back to, like Travis said, like, the ones that are actually willing, you know what I mean? Because I found in so many times too, people that weren't truly willing will take your life. We'll literally take all of your time and energy, and just, and for lack of a better term, make excuses and try to do things their way. Like, I was at a point like, listen, I fucking surrendered. I put my hands up. I'll do whatever I need to do. You tell me whatever the hell it is, because left in charge of my own life at that point was a death sentence, no question. And someone else had to tell me what to do. You know what I mean?
And April, don't ever feel like, you know, I know you're sitting there saying, like, how do I help? Boots on the ground. And I'll tell you this, and I can probably speak on Mike on this too, is like, when we're trying to give back to the community, at first, the communities most of the times is not going to embrace you. Whether it's a government issue, whether it's this, it's that. Like, if you want to create and change, in order to create change, you need to create change. You know, and the majority of the people that we're trying to help aren't the people who, you know, the people who follow us, listen to us, you know, share, that we can talk to and all this. That is such a small percent. The majority of the people that need help, like Mike said, don't have Facebook, don't have phones, don't have when you were sitting there running the streets worrying about getting high, you weren't scrolling TikTok, you weren't watching podcasts, you probably weren't even barely listening to music other than the vehicle. But you know, the helping someone, whether it's through a DM, whether it's words of encouragement, but the miracle happens, like with Mike, is when he goes down to Kensington, or with me when the Climb for Recovery Squad, and we go supply 50 kids that we sponsored for Christmas, you know, or we gave back thousands and thousands of dollars to a nonprofit who are helping people who aren't insured. You know, like, that's where the miracle happens. And that's the stuff that, like, everybody's so quick to jump on this app and say, hey, I want to change the world. We don't change the world. But if you get April, you in Nashville, Mike in Philly, me in Maine, and we get all these people in their communities to change the community, that's how we change the world. We start in our communities.
Exactly. And it's not like, you know, it's like a platform that you have 15 to 60 seconds to put up whatever you want to put up. Like, that's just a quick message. Like, it's the behind the scenes shit. It's all of that where we truly affect the community. Like, that's what it's about, is really helping the community. And it starts at home. You know what I mean? Like, it starts in your local community, and hopefully people get on board and do that.
Well, I'm going to reach out to you anyway about some things. You know, I've kind of briefly talked to you about it, because y'all know I'm new to this. I don't even know where to start at this point, but I do know the vision I have for my life and the vision I have for my future. For once in my life, I have a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan, and it does involve helping people. It does involve, most importantly, battered women is what I want to reach out to, because that's just a different type of deal, you know, and I don't even know where to begin. Yeah, I want to put homeless people in clothes, and I want to, you know, like you say, I want to change the world. I want to save the world. But realistically, I'm just one person, very early in recovery. You know, I'm only 18 months. That's nothing. Like, I'm still a baby, right? And I'm never going to get to a point where I feel like I know everything. I love learning. Like, I love it. That's the best part of me being sober. I was hard-headed as a motherfucker. Like, always hard-headed. I always learn shit the hard way. But for once in my life, I'm listening. I be learning. I be applying shit to my life that I've never applied before. So I get a little eager. You know what I'm saying? I get a little anxious about shit. Like, when I come up with something, I'm like, I want to do it now. That's my issue. So I definitely want to reach out though, because you do know resources that I don't know. You might can say, hey, try this or try that, like local church. I can't just walk up in the church. They already looking at me sideways anyway. I'm not good with my approach.
I thought you were crooked as soon as you walked into the lobby.
I'm gonna need to know do I need to be wearing a Sunday dress? I don't know. What do I do? Like, hi, I'm April. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know the resources. So I definitely
I'm the same kind of person because that's exactly what I did. So it just, and I think Muffy's who was here said it starts with a vision. So like, that's what it was. It was a vision of what I wanted to do. Yeah, exactly. And that's where it starts. So, and then we just walked it out for a couple months. And then it was like, okay, like this is something, like this is what we need to do. And then I'm impulsive as shit. So as soon as I made the decision on my mind, like this is what we need to do, I started filing paperwork and spending money. Like that was it. Like, and just started filing everything we needed. And then, here we are doing what we're supposed to be doing. But it's like,
you got to take the effort. You got to put the effort in. You got to put it, like, you have your vision.
I got the effort. I got it.
No one's going to come up to you and say, oh my God, April, I saw your vision. Here you go. Like, one of my favorite sayings that I say all the time is goals without action is procrastination.
Exactly.
Goals without action is procrastination. So set your goals, put in your actions, and you'll get the results. They may not be the results that you want, but you'll get results. If you put
that's already happening in my life as we speak. So I agree 100%. Literally, as we speak, just the manifestations, the little visions, that I've had, the little ideas that I've created. I've did a pay it forward back at Christmas. We bought, Christmas for Lady and her kid, and I never done no shit like that before, and it's just in my heart because I've been receiving so much love, and I never knew love until recently in my life. Not that kind of love, it's a different. It's not a boyfriend, girlfriend love, husband, wife love, mother, daughter love. It's not that kind of love. It's something different, right? It's a humanity love. It's a love for human beings, especially struggling human beings, because of course I have some kind of weird deep compassion now because I never had that before. I've always numbed it with drugs. So but yeah, I can agree 100% with what you're saying. Like, the little visions do come to life, and it's exciting. Like, it really is. And once you have and I just want to encourage anybody who's in this live, it doesn't matter how crazy the vision might be. It might even just be like this, something that looks very unattainable, but start with the little things around it that are attainable. That's what I'm doing. Like, little, and I'm not perfected it at all. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm just telling you what's been working for me and my little bitty goals. Every time you achieve one of those little goals, that's why I be saying daily, every day, what's y'all's goal? What is your positive about yourself? Speak life into yourself, because without the life being spoken into you, your goals can't happen. Because if I think I'm a piece of shit, I'm not going to be able to go to achieve shit. Not one thing. So once I've spoken the life into myself and then I've set the goal, I think that's literally, it's so powerful. People think, oh, here she goes with the gratitude again. The gratitude is really where it begins. The gratitude is the most important start to your day. Like, for real. I used to hate it and treat me. I'd be like, oh my God, here they go with this shit again. Now I love it. I appreciate it. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, who knew? It's the simplicity for me, the simplicity of things, the cliche, how simple, like stupid little cliches are really literally how I live my life now. So cliche, but it's so true. Glad you're here, glad to be here type shit. Like, okay. Right. But I am glad to be here, and I am glad you're here. You know what I'm saying? And let's get some gratitude. So I just encourage y'all to, whatever you set your little goal for the day. And if you do have a big vision, don't tell everybody your vision. No, that's another thing. People try to explain the vision. The vision is for you, not for them. So
gratitude is
anyway,
an action and an attitude.
Absolutely.
B. Rain said
It is.
that. Gratitude
so
is an action
Yep.
and an attitude.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think too. Like so many people, like, and you talk about like in dreaming and stuff, like, but you know, self-talk, man. Like when I said words are powerful before, I tell people all the time, the most powerful words in the universe are the ones that you tell yourself, because exactly like you said, like if my mind's telling me I'm a piece of shit, like that's what I am. Like, but if I tell myself that anytime a struggle comes on, like, I can get past it, like those self-affirmations, people think they're so corny, this and that. Like, listen, try it for like 21 days. Like, wake up and look at yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself 3 different things that you're grateful for.
Tell yourself.
Self-affirmation. Yeah, tell yourself. Like, try it for the next 21 days. And I guarantee you're going to start rewiring your brain towards happiness. It's scientifically proven. It's actually scientifically proven through brainwaves. You start rewiring your mind towards happiness.
So April, so tell us, you know, a little bit about where people can find you who are listening to the podcast. And you know, let us know what you're doing. Tell us about your shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you can find me on all platforms, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Obviously, I used to be really big on Facebook, and now obviously TikTok is what I do. But I also have a Facebook group. I've actually turned my Facebook group over to one of my moderators that I know in real life. He literally used to be out there. Just I watched that man literally come from the pits of hell. His name is Jordan Matter. He runs my Facebook group. Addictive Personality Disorders, APTV, all platforms the same, but I do have a group. If you want to, if you're interested in that, you can look that up. It's a pretty decent group. And then obviously TikTok. I do have a website, aptvrecovery.com. I also have a newsletter you can subscribe to. I just dropped some merch. Right now it's a basic collection of just, you know, some of my friends and family. We talked about it. I dropped some merch, and the idea behind that's coming is that it's going to be the Addiction Awareness WEAR collection. That's the next collection to drop, and it's going to be pretty powerful what I'm going to try to do with that collection. I think it's important that we not just that we, you know, put some powerful messages on the clothing. And so that's coming. So be looking for that. But yeah, you can go to aptv.com, check me out. You can go there to check my merch springs, the shop buttons on my website. You can also go to my YouTube channel, scroll to the very bottom of my website, APTV, Addictive Personality Disorders on YouTube. And I just want to say a couple things while I'm on here. I got this. It says "Stay Grateful." I got this from JR from the No Matter What clothing line. I don't know if y'all know who that is, but I wanted to shout him out. He actually sent me this. This is the one thing I haven't purchased. I've bought merch from everybody just about, and this is the one that was given to me. I just got it. It says "Stay Grateful," and I wanted to shout him out. If y'all want to check out him, he's JR Clothing. And then also I just received my Sober Gang shirt. Shout out to Sober Gang. I did purchase that. So, you know, I definitely, and I got my Recovery Army mug, you know what I'm saying, on deck. And yes, thank you for your support. The people who have supported me. Support breeds support, man. That's my favorite hashtag. That's the Erica Rifkin hashtag. She's the first person I bought merch from. And because of her support breeds support hashtag, because man, don't it though? I mean, that's the thing here. Support breeds support. I think the best thing in recovery is support, like period. Like it's to be positive and stay recovering and doing all these things if you don't feel like you have support, right? The support that I've gotten from TikTok has been mind-blowing, right? I never knew anybody gave a fuck, right? I never know anybody would care about. I was a whole piece of shit out here 18 months ago. I mean, I really was a whole piece of shit, not a half, not a quarter, not a whole. You know what I'm saying? And today I'm not. And I'm proud of that. I worked fucking hard to be where I'm at. And I'm just thankful and grateful. I'm so grateful, y'all. And I can't even express the gratitude that I have for just everyone who supports me. Like, and you know who you are. But yeah, I really appreciate y'all allowing me, to come on here and, just chop it up with y'all, man. Like it means a lot to me. It really does. Cause I highly respect y'all. So I appreciate y'all so much. You're so important, to not just the TikTok community, but the recovery community in as a collective worldwide, off of TikTok. If TikTok went away tomorrow, we still need guys like you, and you're important. And I want you to know that. So thank you. And you too, Jen.
Love you.
Love you.
I appreciate that, and I know you're the same as us. Before we go off, so I'm glad everybody got a chance to see everywhere they can get plugged in with you. So guys, please do all that.
She's fun.
Huh?
She's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely fun. And also, yeah, JR, Justin with Sober Gang, all those guys, I love them all, man. And support, like everybody supports one another, and I love it.
I go live every day. I go live every day for those who want to really. I think it's cool when people who go live, because you can really get to know that person. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I also go live. Check me out live every day. Sorry, go ahead.
That's all right. Yeah, you definitely want to check out her lives. Definitely love her lives. So April, you said you're proud of yourself. You should be. You should be. You really should be. You, man, in 18 months, I'm just like, damn. Like, I was just relearning who the hell I was after 12 months. So you're crushing it right now. You're killing it. You're walking it out. And it's not just talk. You're walking it out. And I think all three of us are the same, where even if, these platforms were shut down or something, we'd still be doing the same damn thing. You know what I mean? Like all the stuff behind the scenes and really walking out recovery, not just talking about it. It's an action word that we take very seriously, and we do it on a daily basis. So April, I want to personally just thank you for taking the invite and coming on and just having fun with us, sharing your journey, a lot of solution-based information. There was a ton of comments tonight. So if we can, we'll try to go back and address some too when we can rewatch the live. They're super hard to keep up with. But again, thank you so much, April. I'm really grateful that you came on. I appreciate you. Love you so much.
Yeah, April, same thing for me. Absolutely love you. Just know deep down in your heart, I like you way more than Mike does. And, you're absolutely amazing, and just keep doing what you're doing.
All right, guys. So with that, thank you guys all for tuning in, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube. If you're tuning in from Facebook, please do us a favor. If you like our episodes, if you like our show, please do us a favor and shoot over to YouTube also at The Stigma Ends Here and subscribe there as well for us. We'd appreciate it. If you also listen to podcasts, this will be uploaded by tomorrow on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast.
Podcast.com.
Let's go.
So thank you guys all for tuning in. We love you. We appreciate you. Thanks for spending your evening with us. We're so blessed to be able to spend it with you guys. So so stay grateful, stay blessed. I pray that you all have an amazing night and a better tomorrow, guys. We are gone.
Thank you.
Peace.
All right.
Put your arms in, Mike. You're swollen.
Deuces.